Human Traffic, directed by Justin Kerrigan and released in 1999, is a time capsule of 90s rave culture, lifestyle and ideals. The film follows 5 friends as they entail on a drug-filled weekend in Cardiff, South Wales. This video essay is about how director Justin Kerrigan uses film language techniques to portray youth rave culture, its subsequent use of drugs, and its place in 1990s British society. The film's opening sequence involves a montage using real-life footage containing masses of people dancing at various raves, intercut with other footage of protests and riots. This set to the electronic rock dance tune Build It Up, Tear It Down by Fatboy Slim invokes an empowering, rebellious energy throughout, particularly due to the enthusiastically repeated lyrics, Tear It Down. Kerrigan is presenting us with a collective consciousness of the 1990s rave culture and their anti-establishment fight against an oppressive dictatorship to express themselves through music. In this montage, we are shown people who don't believe in the system they have to abide by. A government that tried to stop raves by establishing the Criminal Justice and Public Order Act in 1994 that had politicians sought to control rave culture. In an interview for the making of the film, director Justin Kerrigan stated, "All of the characters and all of the situations are based on real people and real situations I've experienced. It's about me and my mates at a specific time in the past where we lived for the weekend." Kerrigan's choice to use real-life footage to open this film leads me to believe he's using the characters, their struggles and their beliefs to reflect and leave a statement about 90s rave culture, youth, the human experience and the state of British society at the time this film was released. This film shows us the 90s youth mentality of escapism from their mundane 9-to-5s in pursuit of a hedonistic kenosis and the trials and tribulations that come with this lifestyle. Throughout the film, Kerrigan shows us both sides of the coin and lets us, the audience, decide what our stance is. Using a range of cinematic and expressionistic techniques, including discontinuous editing, colour theory, abstract camera angles, framing of characters, intentional lighting, and a soundtrack that sends you out of space, all culminate to create a unique visual and audible experience that puts you in the shoes of the characters. This sets the table for Kerrigan's opinion on the good and bad of drug use. Pills like ecstasy are presented as bringing people closer together, enabling these characters to have more empathy and affection for each other. This is shown through the use of characters being framed closely together in 2 shots, with the frequently used medium close-up and close-up, which is used to speak for Jip and Lulu's relationship in the scene where they first kiss. These 2 characters are shot in close-ups, yet they're still in each other's shots, which shows us the emotional and romantic connection between these 2 characters. This is personified by a euphoric, fast-paced song that grows louder, as does both their nerves and excitement for the possibility of the relationship developing. The music used being the soundtrack for the heightened emotion they're feeling due to their drug-induced state. This scene and many others like it also highlight a prevalent theme and implied importance of relationships and human connection throughout the film, which I will cover later in this video. Kerrigan shows us the other side of the weekend club drug lifestyle at various points in the film, one of the most prevalent being the kitchen scene. Contrasted with what came right before, a moment full of warmth, bright colours, music and close-ups is sharply followed with a cold, dark and motionless scene. There is no music, just the deafening silence of uncomfortability. The contrasting colours used in this scene of black, brown and dark green embodies the sombre, lifeless atmosphere. We later cut back to the kitchen, to where people can't even look at each other. We've gone from close-ups of people embracing one another to wanting to crawl into a ball of comfort and sleep off the come-down. Kerrigan, using these 2 contrasting scenes, shows us how drugs and the rave culture can bring people closer together, but it also shows us how it can push people away from each other. This scene, where the camera pans around the room, embodies what the people in this moment are feeling. The feeling of spiralling out of control into a part of your brain that hates you. The slow pan resembling their unenthusiastic, uneasy and lifeless mood. People who were once full of excitement, now a paranoid shell of their past selves. The music that plays this scene out into the next has an overwhelming sense of melancholy. The deep tone apparent throughout, accompanied by a rhythm that sounds as if it's using a shepherd's tone. This choice of music exuberates a sense of unease and uncomfortability, a feeling like you're not where you should be, the feeling of being awake as the sun begins to rise after an all-nighter. This is exactly how this group of friends are feeling. A new day is beginning, as seen through the fact it's blue hour, a time in between. It's not yet tomorrow, but not today either, like being at the airport waiting to board your flight. However, at the same time, this song also exudes an optimism, the feeling like you're going somewhere and that something's going to happen. As the scene continues, a joyous electronic tune bleeds its way into the song. So does the sound of cymbals, building up in anticipation, as if the song itself is a metaphor for a new day arriving. It's scary, but it's also exciting. What has tomorrow got in store for these characters? I believe that Kerrigan is portraying the beauty of a new day and the grief that the night is coming to an end. This strengthened through the heavy use of the colour blue. We cut to an extreme wide shot of the city. Meanwhile, we hear a spiritually euphoric female voice begin to sing. The sample used in Orbital's song Belfast samples the religious hymn, something I can't pronounce. This strengthens the cosmic out-of-body feeling these people have experienced that night, the feeling of understanding the universe, their peers, and their place within it. This shot of the city and the sky above becoming brighter embodies hope and the endless possibilities of a new day. These characters and everyone in the city below are given a new chance at life. This shot showing the unity of every human going through the same journey. This overall sequence echoes the feeling that most young people of that time and today feel. They know they have the future ahead of them. They know the sun's coming up, but a big part of them don't want the night to end. They don't want to return to the capitalistic system they have to abide to. We are later shown multiple extreme wide shots of the city landscape, enforcing a feeling of vastness as we then slowly zoom in and tilt down to Moth, who at first looks like an ant in this big city. The music, dramatic and suspenseful, leading us to believe something bad is going to happen. These techniques used by Kerrigan culminate to project Moth's feelings, small, vulnerable and paranoid. This scene perfectly portrays the inner turmoil and negative impact drugs can take on one's mental health and rationale. In a 2009 study named Club Drug Use and Dependence Among Young Adults, recruited through time-space sampling, a survey was taken out which stated that out of 400 club-going young adults, 235, 58.8% of participants met the CIDI criteria for dependence on club drugs, highlighted an ugly shade at the rave scene and negative impact it can have on young people. This contrasted with the final scene of Jip and Lulu walking through a Cardiff high street highlights one of the main themes of the story, that being the importance of human connection and relationships. They also look small within a large city. This shot embodies the overbearing weight that everyday life brings. However, unlike Moth, who is alone, Jip and Lulu have each other to lean on and confide in. Their night full of excitement, laughter, dancing and drugs is over, and may give them temporary fulfillment. But when it all wears off and the morning comes, our peers and loved ones are still there. They are the constant that fills us with energy, excitement and optimism to keep us moving forward. This final message is punctuated by the needle drop of Primal Scream's song, Come Together. It exudes joy and reiterates this theme through the repeated lyric, Together as One.